рідна земля мати. Господь, Отець наш Небесний, благословіть. Благословіть! Я йду знищувати! Ворогів землі рідної! Вбив моїх братів! Гвалтівників моїх посадок! Нехай рука моя буде твердою! Щоб вбивати ворогів! Нехай око моє буде ясним! Щоб вбивати ворогів! Нехай зброя моя буде справною! Щоб вбивати ворогів! Нехай воля моя буде сталь! Щоб вбивати ворогів! Україно! Рідна земля мати! Господь, Отець наш Небесний! Благословіть! Наш рішучий наступ! Нашу священну помсту! Нашу святу перемогу!
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to day 474 of Russia's illegal war in Ukraine. This is Spartan News, and I am the Spartan. As an FYI, this is my fourth attempt at nailing a live stream. So this is really going to be working out the bugs for me. I think I'm just about there. So I'm excited to get this one under my belt, and hopefully it goes smoothly. No YouTube issues and no technical issues on my part. So today what we're going to do is we're going to start off with reviewing the Russian losses of the last 24 hours. And then after that, we'll do a really brief Deep State Live map update. And then after that, we're going to go through a bunch of news clips and interesting information that's happened over the last 24 hours. As always, and I might actually put this in part of my intro down the road. First of all, this stream is never meant to glorify war or death or anything like that. It's meant to inform everyone about what's going on in the war in Ukraine and provide some unbiased information and analysis. And in no way, shape, or form do we ever want to glorify what's the loss of life or anything else. And I also wanted to say, because of the fact that there's an ongoing offensive right now, I want to stop saying counteroffensive, because in order to counteroffensive, you're countering someone else's offensive. Russia does not have an offensive right now. So this is the Ukraine offensive. And because of the fact the Ukraine offensive is going on, anything that I present to you is going to be information that is publicly available, disclosed by the Russian military itself, like lost ground, for example, and or presented to us by the Ukrainian Ministry of Defense and public information. So I will never pass on information that is considered to be Ukrainian troop movements that, rumored only on the Ukrainian side or strictly from a Ukrainian frontline source that hasn't been vetted or published by anybody else. So I just want to get that out of the way. So just to cover off today's Russian losses, the last 24 hours actually, we're obviously very delayed right now, and we're into the next day in Ukraine. But to cover off the losses of the last 24 hours from the Ukrainian Ministry of Defense, with some dollar figures attached to those losses by myself. 540 troops over the last 24 hours are no longer going to be participating in the Ukrainian illegal invasion. 5 APVs, 10 vehicles, including fuel tanks, 5 tanks, 10 artillery pieces, 7 UAVs, and 1 special equipment. So it was a very light day, and been a lot of analysis out there. Why was it a light day? Was it because of the fact that the Russians were retreating? Because of the fact that the Ukrainians were going for the soft spots and weren't encountering a lot of resistance? Did the Ukrainians not do a great job of keeping track of all of their accomplishments over the last 24 hours because they were too busy taking ground, etc.? So that's a question. But anyways, there's some good information out there too. I do know for a fact that there are some losses that have not been yet recorded, such as there is a strong likelihood that they took out 2 Ka-52 Alligator helicopters. Those are Russia's #1 attack helicopters. They've got the dual rotors. The only helicopter in the world that you can eject from, but we haven't seen anybody eject from it yet. But anyways, so there's and there are some other losses out there too. So that takes care of the losses. So I wanted to hop into the deep state map, and actually before I hop in the deep state map, I did want to actually present to you. So we've had Saint Javelin, and we've had an animated picture representation of HIMARS, which is really cool with the smiling teeth on the front. And I wanted to know if anybody views this and takes a look at this. This is the representation for Storm Shadow. I think it's really, really cool. I think it's got a little Marvel tinge to it, and it's right in the same genre as the other two. So let me know what you think. I personally love it. I think Storm Shadow needs an avatar, and I think this could be it. So if you see this and you want to put a comment in, let me know what you think. So going on to the deep state map, all of the maps are out of date. They're very, very out of date. Full caveats that they're, I would say, over 36 hours behind, because of the fact that none of the mapping services, especially pro-Ukrainian mapping services, want to give anything away. I can understand that. So if we'll go back a day for each spot here. So if we zoom in here, and again, red is Russian controlled, gray is contested, and blue is blue. I believe the definition is Ukraine occupied but not confirmed, and then green is confirmed. So if we look down here to Lipkove, if we move forward, that's today, that's yesterday. So, Deep State is basically confirming that Lipkove is occupied by the Ukrainians. I can safely state that that is very, very conservative, to put it mildly. Nothing in this front. We know that there is some action going on in and around this area. Again, it's very hard to say everything that's going on based on unconfirmed troop movements and third party reporting and that sort of thing. But what I will say is that these cuts that you're seeing here, these blue areas, they are deeper. For example, in this area, right now, if we move forward a day, so look what happens here. So that is yesterday. Russian controlled area over here. You move forward a day. They've given up a huge swath of land there. And Makarivka is an interesting one. So it was confirmed, taken both by Ukrainian and Russian sources. The Russians were actually the first ones to come out and say, we've lost Makarivka. And then today they came out, and I think somebody got a wrist slap, and they came out and they said, we've taken Makarivka back, confirmed. And there's actually video showing that the Russians attempted to take Makarivka back, and they got caved in. They did not take Makarivka back. So again, backing up a day. So this town right here is Levadne, and Levadne has moved into the blue, which is great, which means the Ukrainians have occupied it. The gray area has extended. And yeah, I think that is it. Now, if I remember correctly, I think I scrolled down the rest of the map, and Deep State has nothing else. So if we go there, we go to Avdiivka. Sorry, get the scrolling just right. So I go back and forth in Avdiivka. I know for a fact there is combat. There is some pressure by the Ukrainians in and around Avdiivka. Haven't heard any real Russian sources step up and say we've lost X, Y, or Z around Avdiivka, but there is definitely some pressure going on there. So that's something to keep an eye on. And then we go up to the famous Bakhmut. So Bakhmut is very, very interesting. So it's very, very quiet up here around Berkivka. This has been a push, a salient or whatever for quite a while. And it has shown there's been an absolute vacuum of news. I have not been able to find a Russian source saying they're still holding it or they've lost it. I haven't heard a Ukrainian source saying they've held it or lost it or anything. But there are some very, very good rumors out on the grapevine, basically saying that the Ukrainians are pushing towards this highway, and they're also pushing from the northeast. I guess that would just be straight north towards the highway. They want to now taking this chunk of highway here means nothing to them. This is not going to improve your ground lines for communication, your GLOCs, right? This is all about territory, and this is all about taking the flanks of Bakhmut. If you're a Russian infantry up here on this highway manning this post right here, you are literally surrounded on three sides. You can look way back over your left-hand shoulder, and there's Ukrainians. Way over your right shoulder, there's Ukrainians. And you are trusting these people to hold the line and not leave you hanging. These people are ready to bolt based on the offensive that's coming. And I am looking forward. This is the first place I check every day to find out if they've touched the highway, if there's been any movement from the north to the south of the Ukrainians. And I just want to double check one more time, make sure I didn't miss anything. Yeah, there's nothing else there. And then the last thing is up in the Belgorod area. So Belgorod, this little gray area, contested, nothing. So the Russian Liberation Forces would like you to believe that they're still there. They posted a picture of themselves in the woods a couple of days ago with a nice little troll sign for the governor of that area. But that being said, I have seen nothing again on the Russian or Ukrainian side to see they're officially withdrawn or they're still holding territory. The Russian Liberation Forces, the two different units that are part of that group, as well as potentially some others, they do typically a very good job of posting videos saying, here's our accomplishments, here's the equipment we've taken, all that sort of stuff. Nothing. It's an absolute cone of silence. So that is it for the map update. It's not really a lot. Now, if we go into my map, I've tried to keep this as up to date as possible. I've moved a few borders around as needed. Same thing as always. I'm going to start from the bottom left. I'm going to work my way around counterclockwise and end up in the mystery places here. And you can see there's just an absolute ton of them. And I don't mind there being a ton of them because those are basically action that's happened, video confirmed action that's happened, but something where we don't want to geolocate it. We don't want to put anybody at risk, but we want to make sure that people get the news. So, starting off in the Novokhovka area, a group of Russians were discovered near the Kakhovska dam, basically the dam that was blown. The 126th TRO Brigade sent a first-person view drone, a kamikaze drone, and while it was flying, it found one of the orcs taking a bath. Who knew orcs actually take baths? But here we go. And the video gets real potatoey at the end, but you'll see the typical Russian, I think it's Naval Brigade or something, the striped shirt, but I think... No, I'm not getting copyrighted right off the bat for a Russian song. I get a copyrighted video. I think it's like 8 seconds you get a copyright. I don't know, but I've gotten some copyright for some real bad songs. Okay, so I think the gentleman we're looking for, I think it's right over here. Keep an eye. And these FPV drones, they always blank out. There he is. Now watch. Oh, let's see if I can back that up one frame. You saw that striped shirt go by? There it is. There's his... So he's taking a little bath and boom. He's clean. There you go. So cleanliness is next to... No, forget that. Okay, so... moving on up, so we're going to, I don't want to miss anything, so I'm going to clear the coast here. This is a good one, I believe. Melitopol Mayor said a bit earlier that Primorsk Recreation Center, Sonachna, the base of Russians, was allegedly targeted. Now it seems a confirmation the strike have appeared. So this is apparently an area, a building where Russians were staying, and or their command center. It was their command center, and or their barracks, that sort of thing. So, and the belief is that it was the victim of a storm shadow. Now they posted these pictures kind of in the wrong order, but there's the hit. You can see that it took out that whole center block. That's what it looked like beforehand. There's the location in Primorsk. And a little more information as well, right on the coast. And I can't remember. Do we have... No, we don't. No. I thought we had possibly a video of it. But... and that is what Storm Shadow does for you. It basically gives you the ability to reach out and touch someone at a long distance. Footage of the railway bridge in the temporarily occupied village of Vokimika in Zaporizhia Oblast, which the occupiers used to supply weapons from Crimea, was hit. And the Ukrainians daily have been hitting bridges, trains, railway hubs, etc. Here you go. And again, a lot of you people watching this may know this, but Russia lives by the train. Like their whole military doctrine, in and outside of their borders, is rail. If they don't have a train, if they can't move their troops by rail, they don't have the trucks, they don't have the highway, the logistics, they don't have anything. They need rail, and there are limited railway lines between Russia proper and Crimea. And all along this land bridge, the Ukrainians are looking to break that rail connection every single day. So on to the Zaporizhia nuclear power plant. This basically shows the water reservoir, the supply channels drying up for the reservoir because of the fact that the Dnipro reservoir is lowering down because the dam was blown. So you want to watch right over here. So basically, this is when the reservoir is full, and these channels naturally supply the reservoir, and the reservoir is used to cool the nuclear reactors. And the reservoir, it needs to be a certain depth, and it needs to be a certain temperature. And if it stays at that depth and that temperature, then as the nuclear power plant expels warm water, it ingests cool water and keeps the reactors cool. If that water becomes too shallow, and it's kind of a self-fulfilling, it's a vicious circle. The pool becomes shallow. It's not being replenished by cool water or any water at all. The water that's expelled from the nuclear power plant is warm to hot, and it's heating up the pool, and there's not enough water in the pool to cool that water down, so it starts to send in warmer and warmer water. So anyways, that's the risk here. And there you go. So, moving on to our next clip. This is anti-landing underwater mines with the sensors became visible after the detonation of the HPP. So basically, these are little vicious little mines that they plant in the ground near the shore, where the tips of them are just above or just at the surface, just below the surface of the water. And that way, when a landing craft, like, any sort of boat, tries to approach the shore, they hit the metal rods on these mines and set them off. They're very, very difficult to see in the water, and because the trigger is so small. So there's one there. So you see this. So the water has receded because of the dam being blown, but this might be, I don't know, 3 feet, whatever. And then there's the mine, and then it's sitting on a base. Let's watch how many there are.
А стол выбило волнами, а скамейки вообще унесло. А здесь вот прямо перед нами первая, и потом метров через 6 вторая, третья, 4-я, 5-я, 6-я, 7-я,
He's
8-я.
counting them off.
И вон там где-то он уже теряется, мы даже дальше
So those are
там не
basically
видим.
going to clip the bottom of any boat that tries to approach, and you're not going to be able to see that in the dark when typically special operations forces
Да, вот так вот.
would approach.
Вот. То здесь вот упались мы с
So this is one of the lovely things that the Russians have done, and it's been exposed by the lowering water levels, along with skulls and guns and apparently some potentially murder victims, that sort of thing. So it's anyways, but it's really sad to see what the Russians have done to the coast, and imagine the things that they've done that we haven't seen yet. Anyways, so probably not a surprise to the Ukrainians anyways, but there's something that I didn't know about. I'd never heard of that kind of mine before. Moving on down, the Russian army tanks are continuing to be obliterated in the Zaporizhia direction by Ukrainian forces from the 44th Separate Artillery Brigade and the 65th Separate Mechanized Brigades. I think this is oh yeah. And I think this one's got music. That's
9 problems and a bitch ain't one.
yeah, I can't play that. I wanted to hear that though. Come on. One.
Tip my hat to the sun and the wind.
Okay. I don't want to go past 8 seconds. I think it's 8 seconds is the rule, and then you get copyrighted. Oh. I think it's the next couple of tanks that hang around the corner. I think one of them just gets misses. Oh yeah, so there's a ranging shot, right? So you see this is drone corrected. Artillery fires. They drop the first one in, and then the drone operator reports back to the artillery and says, you need to come south, go north, whatever, So there's your ranging shot. And he's going to say, you missed the road by a bit. You want to be over here. And that is an interesting looking vehicle. I'm not quite sure what that is. There's a T-Series. Okay, and that one was close enough where I think this guy got detracked. It wasn't a direct hit, but I think she got the track. Did it flip it? Anyways, okay, so now we got a guy. He says, all right, I'm going to hide in the woods. And boom. That, my friends, is an Excalibur. I can recognize it because of the blue-gray smoke that comes out of the dead center of it as it hits. And you can't hide in the woods from an Excalibur. Let's see what's going on with the music. No, still got the banjos. Got a little bit of a cook-off going. It's incredible that the Ukrainian artillery can have a ranging shot, then a very close shot, and then a dead-on shot. And the Russian artillery will drop 10, 15, 20 at one target and maybe not hit it. They literally have to blast an entire neighborhood. And that's why when you hear people talk about the fact that the Russians in the early days were dropping 20, 30, 40, 60,000 shells in a day, all these ridiculous numbers, and the Ukrainians couldn't drop that many. Well, the Ukrainians don't have to drop that many. An Excalibur can hit the center of your dining room table at 25 kilometers. Why would they need to drop 10 times as many artillery shells to hit nothing? Okay, so moving on up into so footage of the evacuation from the Ukrainian M2A2 Bradley. Okay, yeah, so I dropped this in. This was one of the Bradleys that were evacuated after the where they hit a mine. There might have been some ATGMs, but definitely where they hit a mine. And a couple of things. So one, and I'm not gonna attack any other YouTube channels ever, but there are some people out there who were basically like saying, oh my God, Bradleys were hit, Leopards were hit, this is the end of the world sort of thing. It's not. These these pieces of equipment are the top of the line. They are the Rolls Royce of military equipment. And you have yet to see a single Ukrainian casualty, like a body, in that air quote convoy hit. Every single one of them, it appears, got up on their own 2 feet and walked out. I haven't seen anybody carried yet. I might be wrong, but I haven't seen anybody carried yet. And Bradleys aren't MRAPs, but at the same time, they can take a punch, as obviously toucan Leopards. Since one of the Leopards was detracked, it's already repaired and back in the fight. But anyways, here we go. This is a Bradley getting hit and looking at the evac. And just pay attention to the kind of the professionalism and support that these guys offer each other. So the Bradley's already been hit. I saw another video where, see all the smoke over here? This is not like burning vehicles or whatever. There was another video where I believe it was one of the Bradleys let go with all of its smoke charges to give everybody some cover. So this guy's looks like he's a little concussed, but he's doing well. Oh God, I forgot to turn the, oh damn. That can't be copyrighted. I'll leave it playing. Just touching base with this guy again. Letting him know he's got his back, a little bit of a stack. There you go, fellas. We left almost all our stuff inside the Bradley. Now my squad needs your support to buy new goods and keep fighting. High-end gear's at a premium, and that would really suck to leave all your stuff inside a detracked Bradley, especially if you got concussed a bit and didn't know what was going on. Okay, so next up, the repulse of the Russian counterattack on Storozheve by the Ukrainian fighters from the 88th Mechanized Brigade and the 36th Marine Brigade. 2 days ago, 4 Russian military vehicles were completely destroyed. The Ukrainian Marines also took Russian prisoners. I believe this is an already hit partway down the road. I'm drawing a blank. I've looked at so many videos tonight. Oh, we got something over here. Already hit. Damn. Is that a mine? Or did that already have him dialed in for that spot? Watch right here. Kind of look like a mine. Well, it's hard to tell behind the tree. You don't see the full impact. Oh, jeez. What the heck? Now it's looking more like Artie. Yeah, that's artillery there. T-72, whatever it is shredded. And then we got some blue helmets. Look at the D-track on that. So that was a mine. Hits the mine on the left-hand side, the wheels rotate, the track is blown, and then it just kicks the track off the top, and that's why it bulges out front like that on a D track. The quality of this camera is incredible. Okay, I don't like... Not a prisoner of war guy. Unless they voluntarily want to talk afterwards. Okay. Oh yeah, so here is confirmation from Russian sources that Novomayorsk was taken by the Ukrainians. It's not a video, it's just a map confirmation, and I've seen a couple of the Russian sources on Telegram say the exact same thing, that they lost Novomayorsk, which is great. I haven't seen an official flag raising yet on that one, but if there's something to raise a flag on, I'm sure we'll see it soon. Let's just back right out. Yeah, I knew there was something else over here. Rostov-on-Don. So this is a major factory in Rostov-on-Don that was hit and is burning. It's a good one. Thick black smoke. And again, based on that distance, you tell me what hit it. Maybe this guy. Okay. When I screw around like that, I lose my spot. Yeah, so I did that. Okay, so the 28th Brigade destroyed a Russian dump of anti-tank mines. So this one didn't go off like a mini nuke or whatever. This one just basically if this is the one I'm thinking of, it just ramps up. Yeah, look at the pile of anti-tank mines there, like hundreds and hundreds of them. And so now the drone backs off. That's over there. So I'm guessing none of them had fuses, which is smart. I still can't believe it just burned like that. You'd think one would pop and make the rest pop, but with no fuses, there you go. And it's just one intense fire. It's like a jet flame. It's such pleasant music. That's that. Okay, I think that's it for the border regions. Yes. So now we're going to dive into the mystery places. Starting off. I forget which this. I didn't copy the title right. Oh yeah, FPV drones knock out a Russian BMP-3. Sorry, I didn't get the title right on that. See, look at that BMP-3. It's literally firing at Ukrainians. That's got to be the best feeling in the world, to come in knowing there's a vehicle. Now that might be what's called an MK, which is a mobility kill. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe it punched right through. It at least took the track off, so it's not going anywhere. And a longer video of the AFU drone harassing and helping infantry eliminate Russians. So this is a very famous video of a couple of Russians basically living under a tank for a while. Most of us only saw the very end where the infantry walks up and throws a grenade underneath. But here's kind of the full harassment of a drone, or the drone harassing these two hobbits. So I think that's the very start, April 1st. It's a while ago, but it's the first time I've seen this. It was just released today. It's the first time I've seen the full video. So basically, this Russian is making sandcastle, making a wall, because he knows that drones are going to drop grenades in on him, and he wants to create a barrier so those grenades won't be able to bounce in when they're dropped. It's fairly smart. I mean, I wouldn't be living under a tank. There's two of them in there. And this tank has seen better days. The entire battle space is littered with Russian tanks and BMPs because of their constant shelling. It seems the only cover they found was underneath this tank. This tank looks like it's covered in like 6 inches of dirt. Throughout this video as well, in the future videos, my friend gave me the Russian infantrymen are almost powerless against these drones. Okay, so this drone operator is trying to bank this in, but the Russian created that little divot there so that those grenades won't bank in. So the drone operator goes back, gets another grenade. He's trying to get a bank shot. The dirt areas seem to be... So now he's switched up to a thermite grenade, and boom, he broke the thermite grenade. There's the pieces. Okay, take another shot. Very, very patient. See what he's trying to do? He was hoping that would bank off the edge and go under, but it just, because it was loose dirt, it just stuck like a sand trap shot. What a hellscape. I would be hightailing it out of there. If a drone operator knows where you are, they're not going to give up, and they're also going to tell their friends. I don't know why after the drone left they wouldn't get out of the hole and get into the tank and close the hatch. They wouldn't know they were there. But hey, that's just me. Not, let alone just run. So the one guy's got facial injuries and he's covering his face with a shovel. just really odd. And this says April 1st, so there's still snow on the ground April 1st. That's brutal. Brutal way to sleep. So he's going to try for another bank shot. And no. Now again, that thing's going to shoot shrapnel straight underneath the tank. Now it's nighttime. Last chance until tomorrow. It's So he's like, do I try to go underneath or do I hit the engine bay and see if I can set it on fire? No, going underneath. And he got a little bit of a roll with that one. So again, that's going to send shrapnel straight underneath that tank. Okay, so now it's the next day. Tried for another bank shot. No, they're apparently firing at the drone. That's what they're saying this dirt kicking up over here is. So they tell their forces that the Russians aren't leaving. Get some infantry out there. It took a long time to go off. BMP will arrive to suppress them as well, all on video. But the drone operator doesn't want to leave it to the infantry. He's going to keep on trying. He's just not going to get that bank shot. So, go for the tank. Maybe you can burn him out. He actually got some smoke there. Look at the tracers flying by. I watched one tracer hit the tank here. Hit a tree and then... So I think they're suppressing somebody off in the distance. This is the BMP showing up. Another tree got hit over there. And then boom, tank dead on. So you can see them both laying under there. One of them's got one of those thermal blankets on, those tinfoil thermal blankets. With all that firing and everything, they're still not getting up. Yeah, I'm going to stop it just as he puts a grenade under there. He's got a grenade. Pulls the pin. And there you go. And we'll leave it at that. If you've seen the previous videos, you know the grenade is successful. Ukrainians burning Russian T-72 tank with the help of first-person view kamikaze drone. Location and time unknown. Probably is known, but we're masking it. And don't you just love these first-person view drones? They'll circle their prey because they're so fast. They're so agile. It's like, where do I want to hit you? What's going on? What's open? What's looking good? Okay, I better kill that. I don't need 2 copyright strikes in the same video, same stream. And then lines it up. And boom, right in the engine bay. That spot where you hit it is the weakest armor on the tank. And if it's an SPG-7 that thing is carrying, doesn't even matter if it's the roof, sides, whatever. It's going right through it. It's got a shape charge on it. And he made short work of that. Okay, the Nightmare and Mobile Ukrainian soldiers devise improvised combat vehicle. Oh, yeah. This one's cool. Nice, cool technical. This is from Radio Free Europe. And look, they even got stabilizers. So you take 4 tubes off a grad, throw it on the back, get the stabilizer so the truck doesn't rock when it fires. We really wanted the combat vehicle and looked for people. We found volunteers who agreed to make it, and we helped them. We had pickup trucks, some money from volunteers, 6 weeks of patience. So what? Yeah, let's make a road warrior thing. And now our unit has this beautiful vehicle,
Чудова машина. Наш кошмарик.
the Nightmare Mobile. Love it. Extra mobility makes it easier for the unit to move into position. They can shoot and scoot faster than and reload faster than any regular grad.
Піхота противника підтягується, якісь резерви йдуть, або замічена якась техніка супротивника, ця машина одразу
Short notice. The added firepower helps the troops on the battlefield.
в принципі готова до
So these guys can roll up behind a unit that needs some help and drop 4 grad rockets and
глазки, які будуть
make a lot of noise.
наші попадання.
They did a great job on this. Like, they've got stabilizers, and
Бойцы 56-й
the unit has just received the coordinates of a Russian command and control center.
одного из штабов российских войск, и сейчас по нему наносится удар.
So I'm sure these guys are pretty good at getting the dope for the targeting, distance, that sort of thing. And there you go. Radio Free Europe, Radio Liberty, kicking ass and taking names that they're reporting. They're so good. No fluff, no BS. It's not all about the reporter or the personalities or whatever. It's all about they let their subjects do the talking. Crimea is a debt of honor which we must repay. We must help the Ukrainian people to liberate Crimea, and it will be a great honor to participate in the liberation of Crimea, and we will definitely participate in it. Caesar, commander of the Freedom of Russia Legion. This is the non-controversial portion of the Russian Liberation Front. These are the guys who are not ultra-nationalists and all that stuff. Although, I don't have a problem with the other guys if they're fighting the good fight. Here you go.
Мы обязаны вернуть. Мы обязаны помочь.
We must help the Crimean people to liberate Crimea.
И поэтому для нас
And so for us, it is very symbolic, and it will be a great honor for us to participate in the operation
операции по освобождению.
of the liberation of Crimea, and we will definitely take part in it. Here you go. It's good to hear. It's not just all about their cause. They realize they've got to help out the cause that gave them their opportunity. Weekly report on the joint work of the reconnaissance fighters of the 129th Separate Battalion Luftwaffe together with the 55th Separate Artillery Brigade. This is a compilation video of what these guys have done over the last week. And what a resume. I can't remember on the music front. We'll see. Old German techno, maybe. I can't listen to Rammstein, whoever that is. Okay, so they're launching the drone. They got these little slingshot. It looks so cheap, but you know what? It works. And this observation drone kicks ass. These guys sitting in the truck. 1, 2, 3, 4 laptops. And they are coordinating that artillery. So I don't know what that is. And there's a toss, I believe. Flamethrower, MLRS. And I do not know what that is. My vehicle recognition is not as good as it used to be. That's a it's a T8. Yeah, it's a T. Oh God, 1, 2, 3. I can't count the wheels, so I'm gonna say T73 BM. I don't know. T7. I don't think so. No, actually, that had the. That might be. That might have been a T90. That has the upgraded optics and everything. Might be a T90. T90M. Oh, it's just guesses. Don't take what I'm saying for it. And there's a BM21 Grad. Around since World War II, I think. Okay. So the Grad gets hit, and they're very, very good at firing off a rocket or two to say thank you. There's more firing off into the woods and off into the distance. Damn. That's probably a record. 3 or 4. Tonk. This is some sort of a tonk. Oh. Just what was hit back there? Is that nothing? No, just a building. And then the next one hits the tank. Oh, close. That is an SPG. Is that a Mr. Oh God, Mr. A? Mr. I can't remember. Anyways, nice hit. And again, those cheap white planes that you saw these guys launching, they're using those drones. There's a fuel truck. They're using those and drones to correct artillery to spot and correct. Oh God, it's another SPG. I cannot read Cyrillic to save my life. 2C1. Govzika. No. Anyways, forget it. I'm not gonna embarrass myself anymore. It's an SPG. Another Grad. Where are you? Right there. I do like these units that give you some extra editing. Some of them will show you the target just before they hit it. Some of them will show you a picture of what they've hit to help you clarify it. Now here comes the drone back after a good day's work. It's another one of those, say Mr. A, I don't know. Mr. B's the toad. There's a Mr. B. Yeah, no. 2A65. Nope. Another SPG. 2C19 something. And just your cheap truck that clearly was carrying something. And there's another MLRS. Looks like the upgrade from the Grad. Another 1960s truck. One down from the Kamaz. Another T-Series tank. Don't know if that's a 90. Let's see if they switch songs. I can give you a little. That's a pretty cool visual. That's really cool. Well done. These guys are, their editing's on point. Not bad. And fade to black. That's brilliant. Well done. Well done, boys. Okay. Whoa, a couple more in this row. We're almost done. Ukrainian armored column passes knocked out BMP-2, another BMP, and a T-62B3 of unknown origin, but presumably Ukrainian armed forces as they advance into newly liberated territory. I found this funny. Count the hats. Count the different hats. These guys look like they're something out of Mad Max. And normally the kit of the Ukrainian forces is on point and typically the same. But right off the bat, we have what looks like, I think, is this an American Gulf War helmet? And then this action, and then just keep watching. So it's two different kinds of lids. There's a tank to go by. Now, this guy looks like he's almost got a motorcycle helmet on. I don't know when this is from, but he's lost whatever covering was on it. I don't think that's Kevlar either. That looks like it might be cheap, but anyway, so we got 4 different types of lids. I swear that guy's wearing a freaking snowmobile helmet, or it's a BM. Now, there's number 5. The texture on this thing, I'm not a helmet expert whatsoever. I don't know when that's from. 6, skull cap. 7, oh, did you see that? Oh, are we going back to that guy or not? Hang on. 7 is the beanie. I don't think we're going to catch it. Buddy in the back's got a beanie. Driving past a T-72. So we've seen 7 guys in this video and 7 different headgear. So whatever. Normally these guys are on point, but I'm not chirping them. They're doing a great job. A Ukrainian army reconnaissance drone recorded video of a Russian army BMP ditching its crew during an unsuccessful counteroffensive towards the Zaporizhia region. Karma is you know what. So normally I would say when you pull away and you've got guys on top, you got to be respectful that they're on top. And if one of them falls off, stop and let them back on. And this guy would normally be very, very upset that they didn't let him back on until he sees what happens to the rude driver. So Buddy guns it. He's gone. They got to know he's gone. He's probably yelling at them. Somebody's looked back. And they just haul. Whatever, leave him behind. We'll be fine. We're in the armored vehicle. What can happen to us? Karma is not out to get us today. In 3, 2, 1. No. And you already know artillery's got this corner marked. Like, look, something got hit there. Boom. You literally, you know they're dialed in. They've got the coordinates. Anyways, so Buddy who got off the BMP was very lucky. Okay, moving on up. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more. Then we have a speech from President Zelensky. And then leave you off with a little hero recognition. Ukrainian fighters from the 3rd Separate Assault Brigade, Azov 3rd. Anyways, this time they did not have time to drink the water from the canal because they were fleeing from artillery fire. So some of you may remember seeing that famous video of the couple of guys laying on the side of the canal and drinking water out of it with their helmets. And here goes. Here goes the Ukraine marathon. Look at him sticking his rifle in the ground like it's a walking stick. That's it. So professional. Okay. This was my own little caption there. War is not a game? Question mark. This is the new reality. When you see people, 20-somethings, sitting with a gamer headset on in camo, fighting battles. This is our new reality. A great way for people to contribute that normally wouldn't. So this gentleman is sitting on the stairs, full-on VR headset in the controller. He's got the antenna and everything wired up, and he is controlling a first-person view drone, going maybe after one of the targets that we saw earlier. It's got him targeted. Yeah. Booyah. How's that for combat? That literally is combat. And then he puts the goggles back on just to make sure. There you go. Tough day at work. Ukrainian troops in Martyr IFVs, some wearing German Flaktarn camouflage with a G36 rifle, briefly visible. So this is the first time we've seen Martyrs in theater, I believe. Did I miss this? Where's this rifle that we're talking about? Look at the setup on top of this. If I'm correct, aren't these the Strelas? Or I think they've got anti-air capability, if I remember correctly. They might have the pods that have both anti-air and... Oh, there's the rifle. Yeah. I might be totally wrong, but I think they've got a couple of anti-air missiles on one side and maybe it's a gun on the other. It's been so long since I've seen the Martyr setup anyways, but very cool. They're slick little vehicles. Okay, Ukrainian armored vehicles rolling through newly liberated territory. Yeah, and this is how the Russians rescue places and liberate, in their minds, places. Like, it's great that they've liberated it, but man, these places are just decimated. And you got to keep reminding yourself, this is not Russian territory. This is not a foreign war they're fighting. This is their own country they're taking back. Sometimes blowing up their own buildings and their own roads and that sort of thing. Anyways. Longer video of the AFE drone harassing and helping infantry eliminate Russians. Oh, no. Hiding under the tank. We already did that one. Yeah? How did I do that? Did I post it twice? Anyways. T-64 BM Bulat. So this is the Ukrainian domestically made tank. And they're happy to show off how bloody fast this thing goes. Oh no, you're not going to freeze on me. I will refresh you. There we go. This thing is hauling. I don't know what the top end is. I think it's 70 kilometers an hour, but... Oh. Like, she is giving her on a field. Giving her. Not bad. Not bad. Well done. Okay. So the second last thing we have for you tonight. Oh, by the way, if anybody watches this, if you've watched this far or you've kicked in at the end to see what's up or whatever, please subscribe. Please like. Please share. I'd really appreciate it. I want to do this full time. President Zelensky's speech from today.
Бажаю здоров'я, шановні українці, провів сьогодні ставку. Ключові доповіді від командувачів оперативних напрямків, які найважливіші і найгарячіші. Хортиця і Таврія. Бої жорсткі, але наш рух є. І це дуже важливо. Втрати у ворога саме такі, як нам потрібно. І хоч погода цими днями несприятлива, дощі
The weather is unfavorable.
ускладнюють, але все одно міцність наших воїнів дає результат. І я дякую за це кожному, хто зараз в бою, кожному, хто підтримує наші бойові бригади на відповідних напрямках. Генерали Сирський і Тарнавський доповіли сьогодні про успіхи, які вже маємо, про те, в яких точках фронту потребуємо посилення та якими діями можемо зламати більше російських позицій. Дякую нашим хлопцям за кожен український прапор, який зараз повертається на законне місце в селах, на щойно деокупованій території. Дякую і за вагоме поповнення нашого обмінного фонду. Була доповідь головкома по загальній ситуації Міністерства внутрішніх справ, Служби безпеки щодо стабілізаційних заходів на деокупованих територіях. Дуже активно працюємо із постачанням необхідної зброї, снарядів. Була й доповідь розвідки щодо варіантів дій ворога. Наше оперативне домінування зберігаємо і посилюємо. Окремо вдячний за Бахмут. Збільшуємо наш контроль на цьому напрямку. Була на ставці сьогодні
Bakhmut, it's
підсумкова
coming.
доповідь щодо готовності та неготовності укриттів по всій країні, в найбільших містах і у Києві. Доповідали міністри Клименко, Камишин, Кубраков. Результати, м'яко кажучи, невтішні. На п'ятницю будуть підготовлені відповідні проекти рішень і щодо тих, хто відповідальний, і щодо забезпечення належного рівня захисту для наших людей в усіх українських містах. Провів кілька нарад щодо наших міжнародних заходів цей тиждень, як і завжди, зробимо дуже змістовним. Перше, готуємо нову підтримку зброєю від наших партнерів для наших воїнів. Друге, готуємо залучення більшої кількості світових суб'єктів до реалізації формули миру. Третє, працюємо, щоб Вільнюський саміт був дійсно змістовним. Кожну деталь повідомлю. Ще одне рішення, про яке варто сказати: звання Героя України присвоєно підполковнику Служби безпеки України Василю Богачу посмертно за надзвичайну особисту хоробрість, за неодноразове затримання і знищення ворожих диверсантів, за захист Маріуполя і за саме такий героїзм, саме таку самопожертву, які не залишають жодних інших варіантів для України і українців, окрім перемоги. Слава усім, хто б'ється заради України. Я дякую кожному і кожній, хто зараз в бою, на бойових постах і в бойових завданнях. Крок за кроком рухаємось вперед. Віримо в перемогу. Вона буде. Слава Україні!
Героям слава. I think he's probably had 430 maybe speeches out of 434 days. I think he's missed maybe 4 due to, travel, that sort of thing. But very impressive, man. And like his days, can you imagine his days? How early, how late? And this is a recognition for a fallen Ukrainian hero, a Ukrainian army soldier. His name was Andriy Batya. He was recently killed in action in heavy battles near Galiapol in Zaporizhia on the southern front lines in the ongoing Ukrainian offensive. So I try to recognize a Ukrainian hero each night. I'd like to be nights where there's none to recognize because no one has fallen. But there you go. So I'm going to review this stream afterwards and see how it started off. I believe that I missed a button to, I started streaming and I started recording and I was good in the OBS, but I probably didn't select start broadcast. So I think when I upload this, it'll be full, complete video, but I think anybody who clicked in at the start would see that the live broadcast was late. So working out the details. Anyways, thank you very much for anybody who watches this. Again, please like, subscribe, share, provide any feedback. It's an honor reporting on the news, and I hope to talk to you all soon. Have a good night.